Have you ever seen a UFO? Bigfoot or some ghosts? Contact Elder Susie. She is the host. We really like to hear from you. You can tell us then all about the aliens. And if you're one of them, we really need to know. We really need to know. Really need to know, or we will come and get you in the night.
Hi, welcome to our series of interviews for the Greater New England UFO Conference. We'll be interviewing all of our speakers that we'll have on Friday and Saturday, October 16th and 17th, 2015, at Leominster City Hall in Leominster, Massachusetts. All information can be found at our website, www.newenglandufo.com. That's www.newenglandufo.com. We look forward to seeing you there. Hi, welcome to Out of This World with Susan and Willy. I'm Susan Spooler, your host, and today we're going to talk to Audrey Starborn, who's going to tell us about her amazing conference that she's having up in Portland, Maine. Audrey, please introduce yourself.
Hi, how are you doing?
I am well, thank you.
Great.
So glad you could join us today.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. So tell us about your conference, when it's going to happen and where, and your website, and then we can go from there.
Okay, well, this is our fourth year. We started the conference in 2012. The name of the conference is Experiencers Speak. It is this year going to be held at the Fire Inn and Suites on 81 Riverside Street in Portland, and that's Portland, Maine. It's going to be on August 28th and 29th. Friday night, we're going to be having a banquet, and we're going to have 3 speakers on Friday, which include Reverend John Polk. He'll be opening for the weekend, Kathleen Martin, and Thomas Reed. And the dinner will probably start around 4 o'clock, and it'll go up until about 10. There's also, at the hotel, there's a band playing that night, and there's a restaurant, so people can kind of mingle and drink and get to know everybody. And then Saturday, we're going to be opening the doors about 8 o'clock with the first speaker going on at 9 o'clock, and that will be an introduction by our Master of Ceremonies, Peter Robbins, and it'll continue throughout the day, and we'll be closing around 10 o'clock p.m., so it's going to be an all-day great gathering. We always have a wonderful time. It should be a great turnout, and just some of the best people you'll ever meet.
You were saying that Kathleen Martin is going to be one of the speakers that evening. Now, from what I remember is that her aunt and uncle were Betty and Barney Hill, or her aunt was Betty Hill. Am I correct?
Correct. Correct. She's just a wonderful woman, and last year at our conference, she herself came out as an experiencer.
Very
so
nice.
The talk should be really interesting this year. Denise Stoner, who was co-author with her on the last book, which I am actually featured in, that was written last year, and it is all about abductions, and it has the stories in it. And at the time, Kathy, she didn't come clean with being an experiencer, But most people who know anything about abductions know that it tends to run through family lines.
Okay.
So the Alien Abduction Files is the book written by her and Denise. And Denise is also going to be coming, and she'll be speaking on Saturday. And her and Kathleen both live in Florida, and they spend a lot of time together. And I think Denise has been working with Kathleen with some regression and hypnosis, so it'll be interesting to hear her talk this year.
Oh, true.
It was amazing last year when she came out. What a powerful presentation.
So how old was she when she was first abducted?
Well, I know that when she was a teenager. I think she was 14 at the time of Betty and Barney's incident.
Okay.
And I believe the encounters, were at least in her teens. So I'm not real sure about timelines. That's a good question. I need to ask her.
Well, interestingly, we were interviewing Peter Robbins yesterday, and he said that his initial abduction or initial experience was when he was 14 and his sister was 12 in New York State. So it's always looking at the commonalities between these different experiences that people have.
Yeah, it's amazing, the commonalities. Yeah. Kathleen and Denise have put together a research study about commonalities on the UFO experiences. So there's definitely some connections there. My team, Starborn Support, has been doing some work similar, trying to find connections. We're also doing genealogy studies on our experiencers, which tie together. A lot of us are related, amazingly so. So it is very interesting, and the more we learn, of course, the more questions we have. So I think it's going to be just an ongoing bunch of questions, just looking for answers. Hopefully someday, sooner than later, disclosure, will happen, and then we'll, have no more questions. But until then, we're just going to keep doing what we do and supporting the experiencers and trying to figure out, what is going on and why.
So Tom Reed is going to be one of your speakers as well. Tell us a bit about him. I've seen he had a video out.
He's speaking on Friday as well. He just got inducted into the Historical Society. I believe it's Great Barrington, Massachusetts. So they recognize the event as a historical event, which is groundbreaking. That's something that hasn't happened before. So this will be his first presentation in New England since the induction into the Historical Society. So, people can go to, like I said, I believe it's Great Barrington Historical Society and learn a lot about his family encounters, and they have a little section just dedicated to the Reed family.
Do they really? Oh, that's fantastic. So
it is. It's exciting.
So where does he live now? Does he live in Virginia or something, or where is he, or Michigan? Where is he living now?
Right now he's in Tennessee.
He's Tennessee.
Nice little area of Tennessee. Yeah, I went out last year. We go out. My best friend and I go to Tennessee usually once a year. So we went out and he came over and we just hung out. We're really close as experiencers. This phenomenon brings together people from all walks of life. It's non-discriminating. And when you come to the conference, you'll see such a variety of people and personalities, and just the energies created and the bonds that we form are lifetime. It's like a family reunion for us. So it's very exciting every year to have everyone together.
Oh, that's terrific. So Travis Walton is also going to be there.
Yes, Travis is. He came to the first and second, missed last year, but he's back this year, and he will be presenting with Jennifer Stein, who is the producer of a new documentary film called Travis, and it's the truth all about what happened and the people that were involved. So I'm excited. I haven't even seen it yet. I wanted to wait until the screening. So we're going to be closing on Saturday night. It'll be right after the PM break at 7 o'clock. 7:15, Jennifer Stein will come in and introduce the film. We're also going to have a portable bar rolled in for people to wind down the day, maybe with a cocktail, and to listen and watch the film. And following the film, Travis will be doing a short commentary and taking questions. So he'll be there throughout the weekend. He'll also be selling his book, Fire in the Sky.
Right.
I imagine there'll be copies of the film to purchase, but don't quote me on that. I'm thinking they must have some for sale, though.
Perhaps, yes. I don't know, for those of you who may not realize that Travis Walton was featured in the movie Fire in the Sky, which came out in the early 90s, and I was lucky enough at the time, a friend of mine worked at the movie theater, and I was able to get a poster from back then.
That's awesome. You can bring it and have it signed.
I'll try to find it out in my collection of things. But
yeah. If not, he sells posters as
yes,
well. So people
yes, he
can-
does, and he
can
was
pick them up.
I've met him a couple of times over the years, and he's very nice, very nice person, and always
Yeah,
is
he's
very welcoming,
very nice.
very nice.
Yeah, and if anybody knows, the dark side of this phenomenon, it's him, and it's not the ETs, it's the people. I mean, he went through a living hell with certain people, Philip Clack being one of them,
Okay.
and just really, harassed and ridiculed, and he's, just an innocent logger in the woods, and this
Right.
changed his life forever.
Right.
So there's been a lot of trauma, but he's really come a long way since we started, talking and working with him. I've seen a lot of growth, and he's really coping well now. So it'll be nice to have him back.
Right. So, of course, people that have had these type of experiences, years ago when no one ever really spoke about them, the ridicule that they went through and how people didn't take them seriously. But then as time went on, and more information was disclosed, that people realized that they weren't alone when
Right.
these events happened. And
Yeah, and it's there's more experiencers out there than anybody could even possibly imagine. Steve Bassett spoke last year, and he came up with an equation, which in the equation he figured an approximate number just in the United States of people that have had contact and experiences is 6 million people just in the United States.
wow.
So, people don't come forward for a variety of reasons. One, the memories are taken. There's something that occurs after encounters where they do wipe your memory or give you false memories, which are called screen memories.
Mm-hmm.
And, the information stays in there. A lot of people explore regression, which we do, but we don't like to do it until we're certain the individual is ready. It can cause more harm than good. And I know from personal experience.
I had a conversation with Ray Fowler, who wrote a series of books. One of which
I'm
was
good friends with Ray. He's wonderful.
The Andreasen Affair, and he told me, he says people really shouldn't get regressed, that they just
Right.
won't mostly want to keep their memories stuffed away because it's better for
Exactly.
them.
I mean, things are not remembered for a reason. The
Right.
human psyche is very, very fragile. And, people that come in and they, tell me that, this is a evil and malevolent thing and they are just here to hurt us. Well, if that was in fact the case, then why would they tuck us into bed, and why would they care if we remembered or not and were
Right.
psychologically damaged?
Right.
So that alone it has to make you think. If they didn't care, they wouldn't take, such precautionary measures to, take away the information. Now, me as an experiencer, I actually had the chance to ask the ETs, when I was in a classroom setting on, for lack of a better word, a craft.
Okay.
And many experiencers experience this. We get taught things, and I'm in a classroom, and I asked the ET that was the teacher figure, I said, what is the purpose of you teaching us all of this and us learning everything, if only to be forgotten when we're returned? And what they told me was everything that we need to know lay dormant inside us and will activate when the time comes.
When the time is right.
And, doing what I do, it's going to be our 10-year anniversary next year. We started in 2006.
Coming up,
it's a great time. And, it's really good for not only experiencers, but for people that want to be educated on the subject. Every year, so far, we've had couples approach us after the conference, and one's an experiencer and the other isn't, but, they gain such an understanding, and they always thank us, for doing it because, now they understand what that person is going through and that they're not crazy or, this is very real. It affects people and, like I said, all over the world, non-discriminatory, and there's more than you think, and there is a wave of awakening happening now. So, the information they gave me about the information laying dormant until we need it, it seems to be, accessed by more people now. So, I think in the areas of the brain where they call it so-called junk DNA in these blank areas. I mean, we only use, maybe 1% of our brain. So all the rest, I mean, there's reason for it. So that could be, just this vault of information that, will activate, like they said, when the time is right. So, there's something big. It's the biggest thing that ever happened to mankind in recorded history. I believe it's happened in the past. So, people do need to open their minds and prepare themselves and realize that this is a very real phenomenon, and it affects people all over the world. So it's something to definitely prepare for. Most people who are, naysayers or skeptics, they've never done any research,
Right.
and nowadays with the computer age, you just sit down and search, and you'll
Right.
find that there's so much information out there and so many witnesses that, it is impossible to dismiss when you know the facts and you know what is out there. And that's what this conference is about. It's, personal stories from experiencers from all walks of life, and brave experiencers that aren't afraid anymore, and the more of us that come out, the better it is for everyone. And, there is strength in numbers. So it's important, not necessarily to come out publicly, but to, find Starborn support or free, and actually, have somebody to tell your story to and to support you.
Right.
It's so important.
And we'll be having Ray Hernandez at the Leominster Conference in October.
Oh,
And
great.
in
He's so
charge.
wonderful. He
is.
really is. He and I work together closely. In fact, my encounter in 2006, where the ETs came to me and told me to start Starborn, was very similar to, what happened to Ray. And they actually showed me this wheel. And when Ray called me for the first time, Kathy Martin and Denise Stoner said, "You need to call Audrey, you need to call Audrey." So he did. And he was just, chatting away, and he mentioned this wheel. I said, "Wait a minute, Ray, what did you just say?" And he said it again, and I went and I dusted off one of my journals from 2006, and it was a picture of the wheel, and I sent it to him, and it's the exact same thing.
Wow.
So, we were influenced to do what we do from the ET encounters and from their, instruction. They asked us to do this. And, people ask me, why? And I said, well, what was I going to say? No. I got something better to do. Sorry. No, I really just had no idea what to do. They came to me and told me I was ready to start Starborn support. They told me what to name it. And the next day I just created a hotline number and a MySpace page, and from there it basically grew on its own. I planted the seed, and it really does help so many people. We've helped thousands over the years.
Fantastic.
And made some really, really great friends, and
That's
it's
wonderful.
extended family to us.
So tell me about Grant Cameron, if we could just speak about a couple of the more speakers you'll be having at the event. Now, who's Grant Cameron? I haven't...
Grant Cameron is a very interesting person. He does a lot of writing on the subject. He had something to do with Bill Clinton's presidency as well, with the UFO phenomenon. He sent his book the other day, so I'm going to, let's see, the book that he has is called Alien Bedtime Stories. So I haven't read it yet, but he's out of Canada, and he's really an amazingly educated person on the subject. So this book here has the story of the Canadian government that confirmed flying saucers were real.
Okay.
So that should be really interesting. The best stories in the United States cover-up, including the CIA's documented channeling of an alien and the real inside story of Area 51.
Oh, wow.
Okay. He's going to be a very, very interesting person. And it'll be the first time I meet him in person, so I'm excited about that. Some of these people I've been talking to for years, and then they come, and it's just amazing, the connections we have. And he'll also be joining us for the after gathering, which we are having this year.
Okay.
For experiencers. So it'll be exciting to get to know him.
And
I'm not sure what he's going to be talking about. There's, so many things he could, so
Okay.
It's going to be exciting to sit and listen to him. Let me just check the schedule and let you know when he'll be.
Yep, I have it in front of me. So he'll be, let's see. Oh, where is he?
There it is. Okay,
Grant
5:15.
Cameron, 5:15.
Right after dinner on Saturday.
Okay, and so
Yeah.
Mike McClelland, who is he and what is he going to?
Oh, Mike Cleland, he came last year in just such an amazing presentation. He's right now in the process of writing a book about owls. The owl and the ET phenomenon is what he lectures on.
Okay.
And it is so interesting because, along with abductions, there's so much more. The synchronicities that happen, the high strangeness that surround us, that kind of, point us when we're going in the right direction. There'll be signs. And one of the signs for many, many years is this owl.
Yeah.
People report, this 4-foot owl. Well, there's no such thing as a 4-foot owl. So
But it's what people can understand or comprehend.
yeah, it's a screen memory. It's a symbol, and they are very, very prevalent in the community. And in fact, last year when we got together after the conference and we did the camp out at the lake, there were owls everywhere. I mean, the animals just joined in. It was just amazing. And the first thing that happened when we all got there, we're sitting on my mom's deck, and this feather comes flying out of the woods and lands at Matt Moniz's feet. And he looks down, and we're looking, and we said, no way, and it was an owl feather. Very first thing that happened. So it was really, really cool.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So tell us also about, I can't read it. One second. Rion. There's a gentleman called Rion.
Ruin, yeah.
Ruin.
He's
Okay.
very interesting. He goes all over the world doing grid activations on the planet. Very spiritual person. He'll also be, coming to do some grid work here in New England too. He's going to be staying for a little while afterwards.
Okay.
But he also does foregone energy, which I think he's bringing some that will be available for people. And it's a really beautiful work of art, really, that you can wear. You can make wands out of it, very spiritual protection. So, yeah, he's going to be very interesting. He's somebody that my sister has known for quite some time, and he's helped her through some rough waters when it comes to experiences. So
that's nice.
I'm looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
So, and then Eric Mitchell. Tell me about
Eric
Mitchell.
Eric is a wonderful, wonderful man. He and I are very close. He moved here from Arkansas last year.
Mm-hmm. So is he in Maine? He's in Maine now?
Yeah, he is in Maine now. He comes to our support groups and all of our gatherings, and he has more evidence that I've ever seen anyone have. He's compiling his case with his investigator, and they will be, coming forward pretty publicly. He's going to start at Experiencers Speak. He has so many photos, hundreds of photos of the ETs and UFOs. He's very interesting. He's got, certain abilities, which he'll be talking about, so it should be exciting to hear Eric for the first time presenting and showing some of what he has. He's got way too much to show in an hour, but some of the evidence he has will really, really blow you away.
Wow. And Suzanne Chancellor.
Yeah, Suzanne's been with us for quite some time, and she's lectured twice before, and she's coming back. She's an experiencer. She was out of California. She does a very wonderful presentation about her experiences and what she's learned from it. She's also every year at Experiencers Speak celebrates her anniversary with her man Jack, who's wonderful, and she moved from California to Rhode Island to be here.
Really?
And
okay.
to be with them. Yeah. So this will be their their fourth year because they got together the first Experiencer Speak we had. So it's their anniversary every year, and she's just wonderful, full of sunshine.
Oh, that's sweet. I love to hear that. So the whole event, pricing wise, I bought my VIP ticket. That was $160, and you have it's $20 if you're just going to one speaker, and you have other price ranges for.
Yes, our prices are a little more online because of the PayPal fees. You can pay by check or money order, which the VIP package, which includes Friday and Saturday, including the banquet, is $150. And then for Saturday only, it's $50 for all day, and $20 per speaker. And usually, somebody comes in towards the end of the night, they want to see, say, Denise Stoner, and there's only a few speakers left. We're not going to kick you out. So it's an amazing gathering. I can give you the phone number to purchase tickets through me through check or money order.
Okay.
And that phone number is 774-766-2558. That is also our Starborn support hotline number.
Want to repeat that again for us? You want to repeat the number again?
774-766-2558.
Terrific.
And again, that's the Starborn hotline as well. So if there's any experiencers that need support or help or want to know where the closest support group is, they can call that number. Now, the website to purchase tickets online is www.experiencerspeak.yolasite.com. That's YOLASITE.com.
Okay.
If you Google Experiencers Speak, I'm pretty sure that'll come right up.
And you also have a Facebook presence as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And we have an Experiencers Speak page, and we also have a Starborn support page. And my personal page is Audrey Starborn, and you can email me there with any questions.
Okay, terrific. So is there anything else you'd like to add? This is a very exciting event that's coming up.
It is. We've got to, the limit for the VIP dinner packages, we have to cut it off on the 15th of August because we obviously have to order food and know how many heads there are. So August 15th is the cutoff date for the VIP passes. Now, after the 15th, if people call in and, want tickets for the Friday night, we're going to, I think, set up a section where people can sit that are just there for the lectures unless we sell out the number of people. It's a 128 people limit, and we're more than halfway through that. So and tickets are really selling fast now. So if people want to reserve their seat, it's best to do it now instead of later.
No, that's terrific. Then I understand. I run a lot of events personally and professionally, and I know that you need to have those numbers for your caterers to make sure everything.
Yeah, you do.
They always can.
We also have a room rate at the Fireside Inn at $109 a night, which is a fantastic rate. They're really wonderful over there.
Terrific.
So mention the conference if you book your room at the Fireside Inn.
Okay.
The number for the Fireside is 207-774-5601.
Okay. That's wonderful. And then do they have a website as well?
Yeah, they do. It's I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it's the Fireside Inn in Portland,
Maine. Okay. Yeah. All right. Then people can look that up that way as well, and we can always.
Yes, 81 Riverside Street, Portland, Maine.
Okay. Oh, that's wonderful. So, no, I'm very excited. I can't wait for your event.
It is a great bunch of people. Like I said, nobody ever doesn't enjoy it. Everybody that comes back and forms these incredible bonds. We really have it's all about positivity. Our conference, we don't go into the negative aspect of this. It's about these people that are going through this extraordinary phenomenon, and the connections we all have. It's amazing, and the energy alone, people they really notice it. It really just fills the room. And we were going to have an aura photographer. We're going to try to get him this year. Sit outside the door and do a photograph before you walk in of your aura, and then one as the person's walking out to see what the difference is.
Well, you've been quite a godsend for people that have had these events happen in their life, and it's wonderful that they have a place to go.
That's a huge reason why I'm so persistent with this, and why it's been 10 years, because I was there, when there was no one. I was lucky to have found Joe back in the day, but it was so hard. There was nothing, and I didn't even know what was going on. I didn't know what aliens were, or what these things were. And they come in different forms. There's many different species. It's confusing to someone who really has no idea. It happened to my sister and I, from very early childhood, out in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, and followed us everywhere we go all of our lives. So it's important to get an understanding and at least have somebody there to support you, and someone to call, to cry to scream to talk to. It's really, really important.
To get off on another part of that subject is implants. I remember at one point, like in the 90s, people were talking about having implants. Are they still?
Yes,
do people
actually
still have them, or is that still part of the phenomenon? Or
oh yeah, that's very much part of the phenomenon. And in fact, we've got Steve Colburn coming in. He's Roger Lear, the late Roger Lear's partner. He's, if anybody's familiar with Roger Lear, he's the implant doctor that would remove these implants and study them. So Steve Colburn has taken over his research, and he will have a table at Experiencers Speak with his equipment to scan for implants.
Really?
So if you're an experiencer and you think that you have one, you can come in and get looked over and see if there's one in there, and then Steve Colburn will be there to follow up and explain what the next step is.
So, well, I thank you very much for your time.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll put this show together, and we'll get this wrapped up. And
all right, and I look forward to seeing you in August.
I look forward to seeing you as well, Audrey. Thank you so much for your
good
time.
Good luck with your conference.
Hey, thanks so much. I'll talk to you soon.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have you ever seen a UFO? Bigfoot or some ghost? On tactiles, there's Susie. She is the host. We really like to hear from you. You can tell us then all about the aliens. And if you're one of them, we really need to know. We really need to know. Really need to know, or we will come and get you in the night.